Today I'm going to walk you through how to make a flyer using Microsoft Publisher. This is one I just put together real quick for the book club. I'm going to go ahead and show you the rubric that I'm running from here. This is how I'm going to score your work. 20 points if you're persuasive, 15 points if you have good fonts, 15 points if the colors look good together. So let me see how I did. Persuasive, join the book club, telling you to do this, join the club. I'm trying to tell you to show up. I'm trying to tell you there's snacks, right? So that is pretty persuasive. The font looks good. I chose a font that I thought looked very bookish, so that was me choosing my font. The colors look good together, so I used kind of a yellow and an orange. That's very Longhorn. I thought that worked for me. The text fits properly in the allocated area. Text wraps or other such effects have been applied where necessary. The words all fit inside this cool scroll thing I have. In this picture, I actually put a text wrap on. If I hadn't have put that text wrap on, it would have done that. And I don't want that text wrap to push everything off the bottom of the page, so I'll show you a little bit about that. 2 graphics. I need at least 2 pictures in my flyer. I've got a picture of the book here. I've got a picture of the Longhorn down there at the bottom, so that's 2 graphics. Save it as a PDF and turn it in on time. Make sure there's no grammatical errors. So saving it as a PDF, that's pretty simple. Save as right there. See, I just went to File, and then Save As. And then I'm going to put it in my folder, wherever my folder is. I'm not at work right now, so I can't show you the proper folder, but right down here, instead of saving it as a publisher file, you can find PDF. And this is the name of my publication. When I save that as a PDF, it's right there. You're going to save it to your folder. Now it's in portable document format, which is something that is pretty universal and you can print most places. So in order to build that, I'm going to start from scratch. Let me back up and find Publisher. And I'm going to close this and make myself a new document. When you start a new document in Publisher, you can either just get a blank page, which is what I did this time, or you can look for specific things. There's templates that you can use. Now, if you do choose to use a template, you're going to have to change a lot of things that are on there. If you do use a template, there's a lot of sample text, right? So if I wanted to make my book club flyer with this template, I would have to make sure that all the words that are on there already go away. I don't want to talk about this diversity day. I don't want to talk about September 1st. I don't want to talk about some high school in Florida. I'm going to make it for the book club. That might actually be a good logo. Who knows? I might change the colors of things. This set of colors is not to my liking. Wonder if I can alter that. I'm not sure. I think maybe if I change the colors here, that's under page design, I can tell it to be more Longhorn or some orange. I need some orange. There's some options up here. There we have it. So let me find something with more orange to it. It's green. So you can work on that. You can work through it. If you want to use a template, you do have to go through and change all the stuff that's in there, and then you have to add your own pictures. I'm not going to use a template. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with a blank page so you can see it from start to finish. Now, the first thing I did was I made this cool background shape. I used one of these shapes under Home. I'm here under Home in the ribbon. And I clicked on the shapes, and I found this one at the bottom that I thought was particularly lovely. So I pushed this scroll into here, and I just clicked and dragged and drew it out. I thought it looked great, but I didn't like the blue color. So you see right here now I'm being given the shape format menu. It just popped up when the shape came. And I changed my fill color. The orange is just too much. I don't know. The outline color can change. You can change the fill to have different textures. You can change the fill to have more colors. You can do different things with it, make it more transparent. Let's see if that looks correct to me. Who knows? That's one thing I did. The next thing I did was I came up here to draw a text box, and I just clicked and dragged and drew out the text box and said, join the Longhorn Book Club. This time I'm going to tell people to read the school newspaper. Now, that text is pretty darn small, and it's Calibri, which is not bad, but it's not that interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight Read the Hoofbeat, and I'm going to bring the text size up here. And maybe I will choose a different font. That is the font that actually is used at the top of the Hoofbeat, so might as well. You could make that larger or smaller. We've got bigger, nope, too big, smaller. That's probably about right. And then I want to put some information on here. If I want people to read the Hoofbeat, how in the heck do I want them to do that? So maybe I pull in a new font here, choosing something that I think is going to look good with this font that I have, or you can keep the same font the whole time. There. I typed stuff and it fell off the bottom of that box. There is more stuff. You can actually see these 3 dots, and that tells you there's extra. Let me just scroll down and see what the extra says. Right. So, first of all, I don't want a comma there, I want a period. I'm trying to use good grammar. I say the Hoofbeat is printed every 6 weeks and distributed to second period classes. Read the Hoofbeat and support your student journalists. Okay, so does that tell me everything I need to know? Who, we're going to go with who, what, when, where, why, how. Who, I'm telling someone to do something. Who, I'm telling students to read the Hoofbeat. Right? What do I want them to do? I want them to read. Where, who, what, when. So when do I want to do it? Every 6 weeks. Where? Second period class. And why? Because you're supporting your student journalists. So this flyer has all of the information I need in it. Now the next thing I need to do is I need to get the graphics. What am I looking at so far? I'm persuasive, I've got good fonts, I've got good colors, I've got the text in the right space. I've got to get my 2 graphics. So the 2 graphics I want, let's see if I can find something in Google that's going to do the trick. How about, let me see if the Hoofbeat logo comes up in Google. It might. No, man, that does not. So, oh, there it is. That's my Hoofbeat logo. If I click on it, see down here is the logo as a thumbnail. A thumbnail is a small version of a picture, and over here is going to give me the larger picture. So if you're trying to copy and paste something or trying to use something in another project, you want the bigger version. I'm going to right-click this and copy it. And then I'm going to come back over here, and I can either right-click and paste it, or I can go, and I think it's going to be under Insert. Is my paste? I can't remember where it is up here, actually. There's paste. My gosh, it's under home. And it pastes it right in the middle. You see what happened to my text, right? Well, let's do a couple of things. This is the wrong size, so I want to bring it smaller. Bringing it smaller is just grabbing the corner and pushing it smaller. But it's also moving my words around. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to put some kind of a wrap text on it. There's a lot of different options with a wrap text, but in this particular case, I think I want to have the text not affected by the picture. So right now, if I move this, you see what that happens? It changes things wherever I move it to. So what I'd like to do is I'd like the text not to change when I move the picture around. I'm going to tell it the text should go through the picture. And it should. No, it's not working. My gosh. Wrap text, I was going to say maybe none. That's the word I wanted. None. Now you see how the text is not affected here. So I'm going to put this down here at the bottom maybe. I think that looks good. One more thing I've got to get is another picture. So if you look at my rubric, I'm going to need 2 graphics. Maybe the second picture I get is going to be of a, I don't know, a Longhorn logo. Maybe that's the second picture I want to get, or a picture of a newspaper logo or something like that. So let me try a newspaper logo. Ah, nice. When I go to images, I can see a lot of different newspaper logos. Maybe I get this little one of this little stick figure reading a paper. This is perfect. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to come back over here to my publisher page and I'm going to paste it. And all of a sudden I've got a problem. I've got this white background here. The white background I want to turn into a transparent background. So the thing that I'm going to do, when I double click on this picture, you see how my menu up here changes. I double click on this picture and I've got all these picture options. One of my picture options is corrections and one of my picture options is recolor. And recolor has an interesting feature. When I go to recolor, it says I can set a transparent color. Well, that's fantastic. I click on that and now the white becomes transparent. It's really handy. So now when I move this around, I've got that transparent white, so it's not covering the color I'm using. The next thing I want to do is change my wrap text to none so that I can put this little reader smack in the middle of where I'd like him. But I want him to be a little smaller. I'd like him to be behind stuff. Right now he's in front of stuff, right? So I'm going to go and figure out how to put him behind stuff. To do that, I've got bring forward and send backward. I'm going to send him backward. If I send him all the way to the back, he goes behind everything. Oh my goodness. Send backward, there he is. So I send him backwards. Now he is not in front of my Hoofbeat logo. I don't know. I'd kind of like him tilted sideways though. So if I look at this circle at the top here, I can spin him around a little bit. And now he's kind of a fun little sideways guy. So you can mess with that and you can make it to your liking. You can change it up a little bit, pushing it into wherever you need to have the graphics. And that is how you make yourself a flyer. Let me move him just a little. No, I'd like to move him just a little more. Get him right off of that logo. So now I've got my Read the Hoofbeat flyer. I think I've fulfilled most of the requirements in the rubric. It's persuasive. I've got good fonts. I've got good colors. The text fits right. 2 graphics. Now I need to save it as a PDF, turn it in on time, and have no grammatical errors. So first off, how's my grammar? Let me zoom in and check this out. The grammar seems pretty good to me. It does a spell check. So if I mess something up, like I put an extra letter in something, it'll actually give me a little red underline there. And when I right click, it'll ask me what I want. Do I want classes or glasses? Well, I'd like classes. If I put some spacing wrong, or if I did something goofy like that, it should give me an underline on that too, but you should just read it and double check. Saving it as a PDF, you just click on that file right there and you go down to Save As and you put it into your folder and you save it as PDF. When I grade your work, let me call it flyer. When I grade your work, the thing I would love to see is actually the PDF. So when it's time to grade this, you've got your flyer sitting in your folder, open it up, show it to me. Here, let me make this so I can see the whole thing as a PDF, and I will assess it based on that. So it shouldn't take a terrible long time to make this flyer. I think the hardest part is going to be gathering the information about your club or your organization and creating and figuring out what graphics to use. But once you have it done, I'll take a look at it, I'll grade it against the rubric, and we will see how you did. So good luck with that.